Hey everybody, Harrison here. I'm just here to give you a little content warning before we start today's episode. Cindy read a book that involves the Yugoslav wars of the early 1990s, and I read a book about the sinking of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and we're going to be talking a lot about the human toll of both those things, and particularly when we're talking about war, we're going to be talking about some of the awful things that happen to people in that context. So I wanted to give you some warning. It's going to get a little rough, but it is important stuff to talk about. So be forewarned and enjoy the show. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the Free Bin, the Toledo Public Library podcast here in Toledo, Oregon. My name is Cindy.
I'm Harrison.
And welcome to the podcast. Here we are.
Here we are.
Yes, we have had, it's been an effort.
It's been a busy time.
It has been very busy, and we're excited about that. But busy weekends. And so here we are to bring you up to date on a couple of things that Harrison and I have read. And our breaking news. All right. So we have some upcoming events. I just want to shout out, we had a great garden swap, and if you were there, lucky you. And if you weren't there by 11 o'clock, there wasn't much left. Mm-hmm. It was great, though, and we will do it again next year. So it was a lot of fun. Tiny Art is still at the library. You can come in and vote for your People's Choice in each category, which is kids, teens, and adults. Come on in, vote for them, and we will announce the winners June 9th, something like that, the first week of June.
Amazing stuff out there
it
from
is,
all
man.
Age levels.
I know. We had a great event last year with Tiny Art. This year, though, it was like a lot of really great artists or came out of the woodwork, or they improved over the year, which could have been too.
I feel like people were waiting for it.
I know.
Ideas, yeah.
It was exciting. I think we have over, I want to say about 70 entries. We gave away a lot more kits than that, though. So I hope that you can make your own little tiny art at home and display it there. Have your family vote for People's Choice. And then, of course, upcoming STEAM Saturday is coming up, May 30th. We are trying the ancient art of Japanese marbling with suminagashi. I think I said that right.
Sounds right to me.
It's a really cool thing with floating ink and water and paper, and all ages are welcome. But I would say, because it is ink and water, that maybe not littles, maybe 8 and up, kids who can kind of manage those things on their own. But we will be doing that. Sign up in the library, please. We have Knit and Stitch. Spice Club is running all month long. We still have Adobo Spice left if you want to come in and pick up a packet.
It's good stuff.
And on May 16th, which is tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes.
Tomorrow.
Already.
Wow. Join us for our adult craft event. We're going to be completing cross-stitch kits. You can take home your kit if you don't complete it, and we'll be upstairs in the library, so not in the meeting room. And I think, is that it? Oh, no. Big event coming up. Mm-hmm. I forgot the June 6th author's visit.
Yes.
So we're really excited to have Sydney Swanson. She is a YA, a young adult author. She writes fantasy and science fiction, and they're really good books. My library, my 16-year-old library volunteer read them and is like, where are the next ones in the series? So we have 2 of her series here, and she will be coming on June 6th from 2 to 4. She'll be holding a writer's workshop, and it's really kind of a question and answer, but time and a time to kind of hone your skills a little bit. But she's going to specifically talk to writers about world building and about building a world within your fiction. And so come and sign up at the library for that. I'm really excited to have her come. And then that evening, Saturday evening, from 6 to 8, we're going to have a reading. She's going to come and read from one of her books. She'll be there selling and signing her books. And we'll have some hors d'oeuvres for your enjoyment. So come and meet an author. She's great. She's from, I think I said she's from Eugene. She is just a really great author, and I enjoyed her books. And this is something we've been wanting to do here at the library for a while, so get in some authors and have some Oregon local authors. So those are the things coming up. Check our website and check our library. When you come in the door, there's all this stuff on the library counter. So be sure and check that too.
And we've got more irons in the fire too.
Oh golly,
we have a vehicle.
Well, I don't know. Are we telling people?
Are we telling people it's not ready? Should we tell people?
We can tell people.
Or should we wait?
Well,
it's not ready yet.
It's not ready yet. And it's kind of a cool thing. We have been able to purchase through grant funding from Lincoln County Library District, the American Library Association, a private donor grant. We have been able to purchase a library bookmobile. Now, having said that, there's a whole lot that needs to be done to said bookmobile before we can get it out and about. But be looking for us, and we'll keep you updated.
The vehicle has been acquired. Cindy brought it home. It has not become a bookmobile yet.
Right.
That's kind of where we are now. So we'll be letting you know before we deploy this thing, but it has to be outfitted and kitted and all of that.
But she's here, and it's exciting. We're very excited because this is something we had thought would be a longer term thing, and we started thinking about it, I don't know, last September, and bam, we've got one. And I thought it would take us a year or more, but the grants just kind of fell into place, and then this vehicle just was perfect. And so we have a huge shout out to our guys down at the, what do they call that? The shop.
Yep.
The shop.
Our public works crew.
Our public work crew, to Chris, the mechanic. I mean, it's going to be amazing. But it is going to take some time. And so I'm hoping that we can kind of give you some hints as to what is coming, and then we'll have a grand opening for sure here at the library. We'll bring it and everybody can see what it looks like.
Yeah. So many thanks to the folks within the city and from outside and in the district who have made this possible. And we're working on it. We're making it into a bookmobile.
It will
together.
be. It'll have books and it'll be mobile.
We're also cooking up something for our adult audiences, and that's another thing. Maybe we're not ready to start doing promo yet, but stay tuned. I'm hoping by next week's episode we might have some announcements to make.
It will
on some new.
It will brighten your summer.
Program. Yeah.
So, and summer reading. I know we've had several people come in and say, "Hey, when do I sign up for summer reading?" Won't start till June, so just put it on your calendar to come in June. Yep. Sign yourself up. We're doing it a little different, but it'll be all explained, and it's going to be great.
It's going to be a good one.
It is.
All right, are we ready for the beverage?
Oh, yes. I think I'm not going to like this, but
I think you're not either. I'll confess, I had one of these.
Oh.
I did finish it.
Oh, but
immediately I thought, we got to have this on the show.
Well, yeah.
Limited edition,
Woo.
0 sugar, Dr. Pepper, creamy coconut. Now, you may be thinking, I know what a coconut tastes like, and I know what Dr. Pepper tastes like. I can't imagine how those would go together.
Just a little.
Just a little. There you go. And all I'll say to that is, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I confess, I do not like Dr. Pepper. I never have.
Don't worry. This does not taste like
It
Dr.
doesn't?
Pepper.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, what does it smell like?
Bad.
It smells like I can smell
Sunblock.
if you take it smells like sunblock, but if you like take a deep sniff, you can kind of smell the cherry. No.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like 50 SPF.
There is a little bit of Dr. Pepper hiding behind
okay,
that.
here we go. Okay, everything I compare these drinks to is the mushroom soda. This is not spit out of my mouth like the mushroom soda I almost did, but it's close.
Doesn't taste like Dr. Pepper, though, does
No,
it?
it tastes like coconut.
It tastes...
And I don't like coconut either, by the way. Yeah. Oh, Harrison, that's
It's aggressive, isn't it? It's not just unpleasant. It's mean. Like
it's like it's like drinking sunscreen.
And I understand the attempt here, because the dirty soda thing is catching on. And Denise introduced that to us on the podcast some time ago, as I remember, where I think it was a Utah thing originally.
Oh, okay.
Where you take a soda and you pour some kind of cream, like coffee creamer or cream-based beverage into a soda and make kind of its own thing. So I see they're trying to do that. They're like, let's do a coconut cream thing, because you're seeing a lot of like limited flavors that are based on the dirty soda idea. This doesn't work.
No, and quite frankly, I'm impressed that you finished it, because I'm done.
I paid my money.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna drink all of the soda.
It really is. And you know, they say taste is so tied to smell. It tastes like I just drank, you know, copper tone sunscreen, coconut variety. I mean, it's
like licking a surfer.
Yeah, something, or a bodybuilder. It's just disgusting. I'm sorry. If you like Dr. Pepper, it doesn't taste like that. If you like coconut, artificially flavored coconut, go for it. I think you might like a cola with coconut in it, but it does not taste like Dr. Pepper.
You know what, though? You know? The thing where you make a cake, you get a sponge cake mix, and you use soda instead of water. Mm-hmm. I think you might be able to put this into like a vanilla cake mix and maybe get a good kind of coconut cake or muffin out of it. I'm just trying to give it, you know.
Yeah, you're trying.
It's due. I'm trying.
You're trying.
But it is
good luck with
nasty.
That. It's not dirt nasty like the mushroom soda. It's like sweet, yucky, nasty. Oh, yeah. That's going to take a while for me to get over.
That's
bad. Yep. That's how I feel. Okay. Anyway.
All right. So today we are just going to talk about some things that we have read and learned in the past week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Because we both finished a book this week. I've actually finished 2, but Harrison finished 1. And it was a doozy of a book, man.
I finished a book.
No, I'm impressed, because I know you have a hard time. You have a family, and it's a hard time. I myself can go home and lock myself in my room and read, but I know you can't. So I'm impressed, because that was a tome that you read.
It was hefty, but yours, I'll say, it sounds like it kicked open the door to whole hefty historical, very recent historical topic in the grand scheme of things. Recent enough, I remember it.
Yeah.
So you wanna lead with yours, or you want me to go?
I can lead with mine. Mine is it's not a fun book. Yours is not either. So both of us read books. Typically, I read light mysteries, cozy mysteries. But Denise, our beloved Denise, brought a book to me and said, "Oh, this is good, but it's really hard to read." And I thought, well, it sounds really good. It is called The Quiet Librarian, and it's written by Alan Eskens. Sorry, Eskens. And he has written numerous mysteries. It is fiction based on a lot of truth. And that was the thing that was hard to read. So Basically, I'm just going to read the synopsis off of the Fantastic Fiction webpage, and then I'm going to tell you how it affected me, because that, I think, was the eye-opener to me. So this is from the Quiet Librarian. Hannah Babick is a quiet, middle-aged librarian in Minnesota who wants nothing more than to be left alone. But when a detective arrives with the news that her best friend has been murdered, Hannah knows that something evil has come for her, a dark remnant of the past she and her friend shared. 30 years before, Hannah was someone else, Nura Divjak, a teenager growing up in the mountains of war-torn Bosnia, until Serbian soldiers arrived to slaughter her entire family before her eyes. The events of that day thrust Nura into a war, leading her to join a band of militia fighters, where she not only became a fierce warrior, but a legend, the deadly Knight Mora. But a shattering final act forced Nura to flee to the United States with the bounty on her head. Now someone is hunting Hannah, and her friend has paid the price, leaving her 8-year-old grandson in Hannah's care. To protect the child without revealing her secret, Hannah must again become the Knight Mora and hope that she can find the killer before the past comes for them too. So it's a fiction. It's a thriller. It's very well written. I have not read anything else by Alan Eskens, but I know that he writes a lot of mystery thrillers, and a lot of them are usually set in the last 40, 50 years. So he's not a historical fiction writer, as we think of historical fiction. But so what this brought out to me is that, first of all, I read the book, and it's about the Bosnian-Serbian War, and it happened in the years, the book is set, and the war happened between 1992 and 1995, and I was trying to think, what was I doing in 92 through 95? And I had a new baby and a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 7-year-old at that time. So I was busy. I was a busy mom, but I remember seeing things on television. I was not politically inclined, so it really did go over my head. And when I read this book, it was like, why didn't I know this? Why didn't I realize? Why didn't I get the political ramifications? Why didn't I realize what was happening in a country, in our world? And I think it kind of made me think, wow, and this might offend people, and I'm sorry, but Americans can be very American-centric. And we tend to think about our own issues without giving a whole lot of thought to what's happening worldwide. And a lot of times, I mean, that's easy to do because you live we live here. So we're concerned about what's happening here. But at that time, I mean, I had no idea.
And I was small at the time, but I was aware of it. And my cousin, who was in the air cavalry, was over in Europe, involved in some capacity. I haven't gotten a lot of his stories on that. So I knew that the United States was, this affected everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is, I'll admit for myself, it is kind of a blind spot, even like as somebody who is really interested in geopolitical stuff and tumultuous situations. And I feel like there are conflicts that I feel like I understand pretty well, like where everyone was coming from, whether we're talking about the American Civil War or, the situation between Vietnam and Cambodia, or, North Syria and Kurdistan and all these things. That's fascinating to me. And usually I feel like I can get at least enough of a general understanding of what was motivating all of the parties involved to kind of feel like, okay, it's always more complicated than what you can read, but I kind of get it. Yeah. And this is one that even when I go down the rabbit hole of following through what all was going on, I get lost pretty quickly. And I mean, this and then some of the, conflicts, in like the Congo and stuff like that, when things pop off, are ones where I look at it and I'm like, I need a glossary. I need to refer back because things get so complicated and out of hand so quickly. I can't remember who's who and fighting for what.
Right.
And that's on me, but I feel like it does get so complicated.
Oh, absolutely.
That if you aren't living through it, it's easy to not understand it to the point that you're not even engaging with it. And it is important.
Yeah. And this is, I want to first of all say it is such a complicated war. It really is. But there's some things that were brought out about after it ended in 1995 with an accord where I believe that the land was divided. And it really was about territory, and in a general way. So it's generalized. I'm generalizing here. Let's say, like I said, it happened between 1992 and 95. It says they started it on April 6th, 1992, when the Republic of Bosnia and Herzegovina, something like that, I can't pronounce it well, was independently recognized internationally. It was recognized as a republic. And then it ended when the Dayton Accords, because they were in Dayton, Ohio, were initialed by the people in charge of the Bosnian and the Croatians and Serbia. So after the Independence Declaration on March 1st, the Bosnian Serbs, led by Radovan Karadzic, supported by the government of the president of Serbia, Slobodan Milosevic. Thank you. And supplied by the Yugoslav People's Army, mobilized their forces inside Bosnia and Herzegovina, and over the following months seized control of approximately 70% of the country's territory in a campaign characterized by widespread ethnic cleansing of Bosnian Croatians, I think, and Bosniaks. Bosniaks are the word they use for Bosnian Muslims. So the Bosnian War is characterized by bitter fighting, indiscriminate shelling of cities and towns, ethnic cleansing, and systematic mass rape, mainly perpetrated by the Serb, and to a lesser degree, Croat and Bosniak forces. So that's, I think, what caught my eye was this systematic way of breaking down people in such a vicious and evil way. And events such as the siege of Sarajevo, and see, that's the thing. They mentioned Sarajevo, and I'm like, I watched the Olympics in Sarajevo. There's no Sarajevo anymore. I mean, it's like crazy to me that this country just was so many ways has changed so drastically. And anyway, this is why we have our podcast flagged explicit by default. Yes, because it is very hard.
And then we turn it off if it's a.
Yeah, we should probably say something at the beginning that we are talking about some.
We'll put up content.
Yeah, we are talking about some really hard things.
Yeah, I know that there have been at least allegations that some of the forces were actually having tourists pay to hunt people as mercenary snipers. Don't know. I have not delved into those documentaries yet to see, because it's emotionally a lot to deal with, but that's something that has been spoken of a lot, that might have been going on as well. Well, or as part of this. Right.
And so the siege of Sarajevo and then the July Srebrenica, my Serbian and Bosnian is not very good. Srebrenica is the name of a town. Genocide later became iconic of the conflict. So Sarajevo was under siege for a couple of years, and then this other genocide in 1995. There was a lot, like over, I don't know, there's so many, and I didn't get the numbers, but they were gathering, a lot of youth were gathering in the town square to celebrate the end of like their school or something, and this town was under NATO care, so it was supposed to not be a town for conflict, and they weren't supposed to bomb it, they weren't supposed to fight, and the Serbian army bombed it and killed multiple young people, just wiped out, and then they went in and took all of the men out into the woods and shot them, all the Bosniak males, and they massacred them and buried them in the woods. It is the only incident in Europe to have been recognized as a genocide since World War II. They took the women and some of the children, and they took them to their rape camps, where obviously those are things I don't want to talk about on a podcast. We can figure it out. So in 2008, the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia had convicted 45 Serbs, 12 Croats, and 4 Bosniaks of war crimes in connection with the war in Bosnia. Estimates suggest that over 100,000 people were killed during the war. Over 2.2 million people were displaced, making it at the time the most violent conflict in Europe since the end of World War II. And in addition, an estimated 12,000 to 50,000 women were raped, mainly carried out by Serb forces, with most of the victims being Bosniak women. Today, there are 2,000 to 4,000 children that were born out of that war. And I think, and I know this is a really hard subject, and man, we are like, this is like Friday sad news. But I think it's worth thinking about in terms of how we're thinking about world news and where are we now? There's a lot going on in our world that we are so focused here in the United States on our own issues that sometimes we forget that there are countries out there where people are being massacred. Nigeria is one of those currently. And it's like, I think for myself, and I'm not trying to put a guilt trip on anybody, but for myself, it was like this book stayed with me for a long time, not because of the plot, but because of what it opened up. Like you said, it kind of opened this trap door into this rabbit hole of where was I, what was I doing, and why didn't I notice what was going on around me? And I'm not a different person, not in character or anything, but I am in a different place in life. So I think I'm noticing things more worldwide than I was when I was raising my children. So it's just it was just an interesting thing to me. And it brought up a lot of, wow, this is awful, and horrific. And yet if you go, there's several, you can read lots and lots of articles. If you go to Wikipedia and look up the Bosnian-Serbian War, there will be lots and lots of reference points that you can click on that will take you to world journalists that have written about this. And it will open your eyes to all of the things that happened. And it's very, very, very complex. And there's evil on both sides, but it was truly on at least on one side, it was truly a genocide to rid the country of a certain group of people. And I think that's what was really, it was just really hard to, I just kind of read the book and went, that was a good thriller. In the end, it works out, justice is served, and I won't say, I'm not going to spoil it, but definitely it's worth a read if you like thrillers, but be warned that it's not easy to read. And then I did notice, and I mentioned this to you because it was so weird. So this book was about the Bosnian War. It's a brand new book, and there's a new young adult book coming, young adult book coming out about a girl in the Bosnian War. And I'm like, why are we suddenly, and we go in trends in the library. You see, there's World War II historical novels, and pretty soon you're like, oh, this year it's the book of, the Spies. This year it's the book of Bletchley Circle. This year, and this year it's the book of Bosnia. Now we're going to explore the Bosnian conflict. And I think that's kind of interesting too.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just, it takes something an experience that awful sometimes. I think it just takes a certain amount of time before it's like we're ready to
talk about it.
Hold this in our hands and roll it around and take a good look at it, because I mean, it wasn't long ago.
It really wasn't. I mean 30 years. I mean, and that's,
I guess it's all relative. Right?
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, and that's where I'm like, if you're under the age of 30, or even let's say under the age of 25, because really you're not going to notice if you're 5 years old. Do you remember? Did you talk about it in school? Do they talk about it in school? You know, I mean, those kinds of things are interesting to me because I'm of a certain age. It's like, does anybody remember? I remember watching the 1972 when Saigon fell, you know, I mean, those kinds of things that I remember watching that on the TV. I remember my parents being like, you don't need to watch this about the Vietnam War, because I was like 10, you know, but it's interesting to me that, and I think you're right. I think enough time had to pass before the people involved wanted to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And I think many, many of them do not talk about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many Bosnians were relocated to the United States as refugees. I think they really kind of moved to different European countries. But there is a Bosnian, what do they call it? Bosnian community in Minneapolis, in St. Paul area. I do know that there is one there, and I'm sure there are in other cities too. Anyway, sorry for the downer.
It's heavy stuff, but it's important stuff.
It is important,
and we're all on this planet together.
Right.
And even if it feels like something might be totally external to your experience, it all affects us.
It does.
And
it does.
Even if we're not aware of how these things are affecting our world, when horrible things happen, it's happening to people, and we're people.
Right.
You're a people too.
I'm a people. You're a people.
Where's that from? Is that a commercial?
No, it's I'm a pepper. You're a pepper. Be a pepper.
You want some more Dr. Pepper?
No, I do not. Thank you though. Anyway, so what did you read?
I read The Gales of November by John U. Bacon about the Edmund Fitzgerald. Another terrible thing.
Oh my gosh.
But on a different scale, qualitatively different, and on a much smaller scale, but still
tragic.
Very tragic. Again, this was recommended by Denise. Denise, this whole episode is Denise's fault.
Right. Blame her.
She read 2 books and told us about them, and we read 1 each.
Right.
Really good book. I am really into analyzing, bad things. I watch a lot of, like I said, like I'm interested in reading everything from, global conflict and historical stuff there to, maritime casualty breakdown YouTube channels. I'm a big fan of Big Old Boats on YouTube and Brick Immortar on YouTube, who do like just these long documentaries about, like an accident on an oil rig or, a ship that sank, where they go through the all of the agency reports and break down what happened, what went wrong,
Right.
That's interesting to me. I like this book because it's not that, because we have so much of that already on the Edmund Fitzgerald. So many people have analyzed it. There are lots of breakdowns, documentaries, descriptions of what we know, and that's all in there.
Right.
And he tells that story as it happens very, very well, about what happened in the lead up and what happened the night that it sank. And he has firsthand, or as close to firsthand as you can get on that whole story and what happened. But it's not about how the ship sank or just the ship sinking. It's about the crew and about the families of the crew.
Oh, wow.
And about everybody involved in that, from from Edmund Fitzgerald himself, who didn't want the ship named after him, and through the captain, through the crew, through everybody. He interviewed extensively, people who worked on the Edmund Fitzgerald for one summer, and it's the story is told in memories of people who were there and were on there. So it's about the people who are on the ship. And that's really, really interesting, because then you can't understand the scale of what happened without that. Otherwise, if you're just looking at it mechanically, you're talking about how a ship breaks up when, and that's interesting to me too, but it doesn't mean anything if you don't understand how many people were like lost their dad, their son, their, boyfriend, that, all of this stuff. And it gets into like all the plans that they had, that, the crew members, one of them was planning to drive cross country in his brand new Dodge Challenger with his best friend. And, his girlfriend was pregnant, and he just found that out right before the ship went down, and he was planning to do one last cross country drive. Everybody had plans. And that's the thing that gets missed a lot. And also, I read a lot of true crime stuff and listen to podcasts, and you do that enough, and I feel like you come around to understanding or appreciating the things that aren't just the, oh, look at this awful thing that happened. But once you dig past that, you see why it matters, is that everybody whose life got cut short by something like this was going somewhere. Everybody has stuff in their inbox. Everybody is you, potentially. And you hear names, even if you hear names listed off and stuff, you're kind of still thinking, okay, the ship went down. That's the name of a person who went down with the ship, or that's the name of a person who died from this thing. But it's like, no, you're not a name. You're someone who was in the middle of stuff.
Right. It puts flesh and blood onto a name.
Yeah. And it all just went down suddenly. So it's a bummer, but it's also, it's good to have that emphasis on the story. And I thought it was really, really well done. John U. Bacon did a lot of research. Most of it is, just interviews. He's quoting people he spoke to who had firsthand knowledge of all of these situations. And the thing that I took away from it too was I knew that Lake Superior is super, super dangerous, and things get rough out there. Like, we live on a rough ocean. We live on the Northeast Pacific. We've lost so many people.
Oh yeah.
Off our coast. But Lake Superior gets rough in weird ways. Right. Right down to the fact that fresh water is less dense than salt water. So wave heights can be higher in fresh water because the water is not as heavy. Right. So like a cubic foot of water weighs like couple pounds less for fresh water than salt water. If you're diving in fresh water, you wear like 5 pounds less weight because you also want to sink a little bit more in fresh water than salt water. So you get like higher waves at certain times, and also your encounter frequency is going to be higher. So it just does very strange things. Yeah. And apart from the fact that it's freezing cold all the time, and it's just the lake's too big, the boat's too big, and I'm afraid of it. It's freaky. Like,
it is.
Like
the Great Lakes are
And I
like oceans from the shore.
Yeah. And I know that, I know how deep the ocean gets. I know that at its deepest point at the Mariana Trench, the distance between the surface on your boat and the bottom of that trench is a little bit, about 1,000 feet more than the distance between the ground and a plane at cruising altitude at sea level.
Right.
The ocean is incredibly deep at its deepest point. But even thinking about the fact that the Edmund Fitzgerald is long, a lot of those lake freighters are designed because they have to get through the Soo Locks to be weirdly long and have a very shallow keel. And so the Edmund Fitzgerald was more than 700 feet long, and it went down in a more between 500 and 600 feet of water, I think 530, something like that, which if we're comparing it to the ocean isn't super deep, but it's deep. That's 530 feet, but it's still not even as long as the ship is at 500 feet.
Yeah.
And something about that scale, like it's just enough for my brain to comprehend that it's too much.
Right.
Like more so even than 30,000 feet down is like,
Well,
I'm locking my doors twice so that Lake Superior can't come get me here.
Right.
It's scary.
It is. And imagine that. Imagine the turning. How do you turn something? You can't turn it quickly. It's incredible. And the men who brave that, who drive those boats, captain those boats, whatever the maritime phrase is. They have my admiration. That's a huge thing. That's huge.
And turning those ships is a big factor in when they're talking about who turned around to go look for the Fitz when they lost contact. The author makes a point about the fact that in that storm, coming about in one of those freighters, and it was other freighters and commercial ships, is incredibly dangerous and rough. Like when the seas are that high, turning is like you end up spending this long time where things are getting knocked so much that you have to tie everything down in your bunks, and like everything you have is going to get thrown across the room.
Right.
And there were people who went out that night, coming into Whitefish Bay, the Anderson, they reported the Fitz missing, and the Coast Guard couldn't get anyone out there right at that moment and asked if they would go back, and they went back. And going back meant they had to turn around in the middle of the storm, and they were already just about where they were going out of it. But yeah, it's amazing. And it's horrible, and it's interesting, and I would highly recommend it, just because I feel like if you know the story, the general story of what might have happened, because of course you don't know the moment that it happened, exactly what all failed at that moment, but we know pieces along the way. But I kind of feel like you kind of owe it to everybody who was affected by it, if you find it interesting, to follow through and learn about the people affected by it, because that's what really is, even if you don't recognize it, I feel like that's what's pulling your mind to it, is you've become aware of something terrible, and you recognize it as something terrible because of what happened to people. Right. And it's easy to get stuck looking at just the event. Right. But I feel like what really draws you in to wanting to know more is you lost people there. Yeah. That's what makes it interesting once you push past the whoa, look at that. Yeah. The shock. And the other thing that I wasn't aware of, having not lived in a pre-wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald world, that song has been on the radio as long as, longer than I've been alive.
It's kind of a nice historical piece, because that's how I heard about the Edmund Fitzgerald, was the song.
Yeah, and he tells the whole story
yeah.
of the wreck there very well and very accurately, and he's updated it over. He updated it over the years. When he learned new things about it, he would change the lyrics. Cool. But
tell me who it was sung by.
Gordon Lightfoot.
Gordon Lightfoot. Thank you. I couldn't remember.
You better take care if he finds you've been creeping around his back stairs.
I will.
Just like an old time movie. But the piece I didn't know was that it was famous on the lakes from the time it was built. I didn't realize it was such a famous ship before it went down, and that was part of the shock, even among people who didn't have friends or family on board.
Right.
Was that it was like the big celebrity freighter.
Oh.
And for years beforehand, I thought that it was but I thought that it was famous after Gordon Lightfoot wrote the song, and that maybe it wasn't during its time in service. I didn't know that it was already a celebrity, and that's why Gordon Lightfoot kind of, because it was, everybody knew the Fitz and already, and then when it went down, which is not to downplay all the wrecks that have happened.
Right. But it was a shock.
And that's something to talk about too, is that every freighter that went down took people with it who were just as,
as important in someone else's life.
And that's why they ring the bell for when the Edmund Fitzgerald memorials. They ring it 30 times, 29 for every crew member on the Fitzgerald, and then another one for everyone who has gone down on the lakes. But it did become famous after Gordon Lightfoot. He propelled it to beyond just the lakes region being famous. So that's partly true, but I didn't realize how much it was a celebrity ship before. So that was interesting to learn too. And that was the first take, not just the first take, but the first time the band had ever played that song all the way through.
Right.
Is that recording.
That. Yeah.
And that puzzled me when I heard that, when Denise told me that bit before I read it. And I had to go back and listen again and then read the description. And you couldn't do that with every song. But because of the structure of the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, and that they had kind of tried it out a little before Lightfoot kind of would say, this isn't ready yet. It kind of lends itself to being able to, we kind of get, it's a repeating melody. They could just kind of play it through and keep going and ride the feeling until the last verse. But it's all very interesting. That's covered in the book too, the song, and how hesitant Gordon Lightfoot was to even finish writing it and releasing it, because it sounds like he didn't really know if it was his place to do that, or if he meant it from respect, but he wasn't sure. He didn't want it to feel like he was being exploitative or something. So he was very cautious in that, and has been very involved with the families of the crew since, because
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So
well,
you'll feel good after reading that one, I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a book about a horrible thing, but you do come away from it feeling good about humanity, I think.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of this book.
Yeah. Well, you might not feel so great about that after the end of the one I read. Although justice is served, I will say that. You think it might not be, or it's one of those books that there is an ethical question, because you really do kind of side on the, there's definite sides to the conflict. Anyway.
All right.
Whew, that was a hard one, guys. Yeah. So I don't recommend the Dr. Pepper cherry crap, the coconut. I don't remember it, but Harrison is finishing it. It doesn't get better, does it?
It gets so much worse.
So anyway, don't forget our upcoming events, and we'll see you next time.
Have a good week. The Free Bin is a production of the Toledo Public Library, which is part of the Lincoln County Library District in beautiful Lincoln County, Oregon. Writing by Harrison Baker and Cindy Bilek. Original music and editing by Harrison Baker. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect those of any organization they represent. Good night.